Hey everybody, it's Erin Marie with Erin Marie Makes, and today I'm going to show you 5 different ideas for fun fold cards. Now, to get all the complete details on how I colored and all the mats and stuff on there, the individual links for each of these videos will be down below. So I'm just going to take you through and show you how to do the base of the card, and then you can embellish it and add all the other fun tweaks and stuff on your own. So just to show you what each of them looks like, they are so cool. Look at these fun ones. We're going to go through each one of these individually as I show you how to set up each card. Look at this one, really fun. Some of these are fun folds, some of these are little pop-up fun folds. They are all super cool. We are going to start off with this one, which is our 4-fold card. There are some basic supplies you need with any fun fold card. Number 1 is your paper trimmer to help you cut, adhesive, some sort of bone folder. That could be negotiable. You could use your hands to fold. This also helps scoring because some cards need scoring, and a pair of scissors. For this first card, which is the 4-fold card, look how fun this one is. You do need 11.5 by 5.5 sheet of paper, and all measurements for all these cards will be linked down below, along with the links on when I made the full cards. That way you can see how I did the coloring and how I did the matting and everything along those lines. So from your 11.5 by 5.5 sheet of paper, the first score mark you're going to put on here is at 0.25. So score 0.25. Score right there. The next one is at 3.75. Last one's at 7.25, and I'm going to score and go ahead and speed up the folding on each of these scores. So there we go. So now you can see the base of our card is folded up, and there we go. This little extra flap, we're going to get to that in a moment. Now turn your card. That tiny little flap is the front of your card, so paste that down, and you're going to cut from this base to this fold, which is at 7.25 inches, and you're going to cut at the 5/8. So line it up. A precision cutter is beautiful for this. And cut up to the 7.25 mark, which gets you all the way to here, which means this last section is fully free. And there it is. Cut right up to there. Take your scissors. Trim that little part off right there. And this is just trash. All right, so from here, we have the beginnings of our card, and you can see we have everything but this fun little extra flap, which is what this sheet of paper is for. So all you need to do is take your tape runner, run a little bit of tape right along the edge there, place your flap right on the edge of that, so it fits right on there, and then just make sure it folds over nicely. If you need to add a little extra glue right here and there, more than welcome to do so. Then you take your fine point scissors and just do a tiny little trim right to there and right to there, just to finish off and give that clean look. And that is the base of your 4-fold card. Beautiful card, lots of fun panels that you can play on. You can even add stuff onto the back side if you wish, or you can just do the front. It is up to you. The more your card sits and has stuff, right now it seems very heavy, but if you take a look at this card, it lays nice and flat. So the more weight you add to each layer, it'll help it fold flat. Also, just placing something on top and giving it a chance for all those folds to get used to being folded, it will start laying flat as well. Time to go to the next one. Next card is so easy and it is so fun. It's actually really addictive to make. This is a fancy W fold card because when it's opened, it makes a W shape on the inside. So there you go. So it makes that kind of cool W shape, or an M, however you want to look at it. Elements you need for this: 1 sheet of 4¼ by 11, another sheet of 1 inch by 11, and then for the little inserts here, you need 4 2x2s. Now, if you wanted to go a little bit bigger, you wanted to go longer, you can make them 2x3. That is totally up to you. But 2 inches is about the right size. You could get away with 2¼ but it might be a bit squishy. Again, I'm not showing you any of the mats, so before you would put the fold down for this, you would want to put your background paper, but that is up to you to decide. I'm just showing you the basics of how to set this up. So the first is fold this in half. So it's a basic A2 size card. Fold in half. Get your little bone folder out. Make your fold. Super simple. Now for this, if you've noticed, I've not pulled out anything to score with because you don't need it. This is a basic fold, and I'm using different colors so you guys can see the idea. So we're going to fold this piece in half. So it's fold in half. And here's the other fun part. Take this and go to your half fold and fold in half again. Now, on the instructions, I will put exactly where you need to score, but this is the simplistic version about how to do all of these easy folds. So therefore you get your 4 sections, exactly what you need. And I go ahead and fold back and forth on each of these. So that way they can do all that they need to do. Therefore you have your 4 even sections. Fold in half, fold each of these in half, and you are set. And you can see that each of these fits on here beautifully. Open up your card. And first, when you make your card, unless you want to have a white background, place your mats on the inside of this first before you add your W flap. So line up this little flap right here, and I like not doing it purely in the center. I go a little bit lower, but again, your card, do it however you wish. Open up this little flap right here, add your adhesive right there. Now, when I place this fold in, I go ahead and leave a little bit of a lip right here. I don't go all the way to the edge. You could, but I'll show you why I don't in a minute. Open up this flap, place your adhesive down. Again, don't go all the way to the edge. These are the only 2 sections that are glued. And this part comes forward. The reason why I do that is because I feel like when it folds better and cleaner than if you had gone all the way to the edge with it. It ends up having a little bit of this W when it's open. So it has this nice little pop. And it has this little edge when it's laying down flat. If you went all the way to the edge, it would lay flat. And that's not the look I like. If you want that, you can go all the way to the edge. Again, not what I personally like. Now, put a little bit of adhesive on each of these sections right here, and then just go ahead and place down. You can either do it to the paper, or you can do it to the strip. So if you're going to do the middle strip, just do each one individually. Very simple. Now, if you didn't want to do squares, you could also do circles, ovals, rectangles, totally up to you. It's your call. And that is the base of how to make a fancy W fold card, just like you see here. The third card is a 2-fold flip-flap card that I used, and I made this really cute under the sea. Again, you can see how I made this entire card because the link to that video is down below. I'm using 2 different colors, but normally I would just use all 1 color to make this card. But again, totally up to you. The first step you're going to want to do is cut yourself a 4 1/4 by 11 sheet of paper. So go ahead and fold this part in half. All right, so now here's the front of your card. This is the flap that opens. You're going to want to trim off 2 3/4 from the front. So you're basically cutting this section in half. Trim this off. Now, technically, I would normally keep this side of the card because this is the side that is that front flap. But for us, I'm going to use a different color just so you can see what all the different sizes and what parts are what on this card. So that way, when I have the measurements down below, you know what color is what. I'll say green, pink, or white. So now this is the front part of our card. Now we got to do this little inside flap, that goes right here. So this is a 3 1/2 by 10-inch sheet of paper. So go ahead and fold this part in half. Our card is orientated where you open up the first flap, and therefore you open up the second flap, just like this. So make sure your second flap is opening. When you make your own card, if you wish to, you can add another mat of paper to the background of this. For this card is where I added that darker blue color in the background. So before you would add this flap, if you want to add a mat, now's the chance to do it. Go ahead and apply your adhesive. Very easily place this down, just like that. Fold over your top flap, and that's where this little piece comes from. Now, if you remember, we cut it in half, and normally I would use the same sheet here in both places, but just to show you a difference in color, that's why I used the green. So when you apply your adhesive, only apply the adhesive to this side. So flip it over, and just this side, and when I lay it down so it's fully centered for this sheet of paper and from side to side. Just make sure that's secure. And therefore, there is your flip-flap card, just like that. Our fourth one is a mini card topped fun fold card. So you have this little mini card that's on top of a fun fold that's on the inside. Look at that, really cool. So the first thing you're gonna want to start with is the base of your card. And this measures 5 1/2 by 9 1/4. We are gonna need to score this card to give us our measurements. Now, if you take a look, we have a small flap and we have a large flap. So for the larger flap, you're at 3 1/2. So this side becomes right here. And if you mess up, you can always flip your card around. So score at 3 1/2. Flip the card around, and you're going to score at 1 1/2. Last thing you need to do is take your little 3 by 6 sheet of paper and fold this in half to make a little square mini card that fits on the top of your card. So there we go. So when you fold it, Big fold comes in, a little tiny flap goes on top. If you wanted to adjust this and make this closer to the edge or make this flap a little bit longer, totally your call. Have some fun with that. What you're going to do is you're going to glue your mini card to the front, and just be careful of the direction that your flap is folding. Because it's a square, you could easily glue it in the wrong direction. So just be cautious of that. And again, if you wanted to add a mat or any kind of background paper to any of this, do this now before you add this little mini flap, especially to this panel right here. All the other panels, you could get away with it because there's nothing else on there. But this front panel, make sure you add your mat first. So then just flip this over once you know exactly where it's going to go. Add a little adhesive just to right here, because otherwise you're going to close your card shut. I like to leave it so there's a little bit showing off to the side here, and then just glue that straight down. And so now you have this little mini fold card which opens up, and you've got lots of panels that you can put fun stuff on. So just to show you what the main one, the card I already completed, looks like. Look how cute that is. Look at all the little panels that you can add some fun accents to. Last card is a flip up side fold card, or it can also be a side fold flip up card, depending on how you want to orientate it. And I'll show you how you can take this card and go either orientation with it. It's quite cool. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock and fold it long ways. So take this entire sheet and fold it long ways. Then you're going to fold it the other way. It's like doing a little bit of origami here, but you'll see why in a minute. So now you fold it going both directions. Now you've scored your card going in all different directions, and make sure that the folds go in every which way. So that way, depending on how you want to fold your card, you're good in everywhere. So now you got 4 quadrants. We're going to cut out the top left quadrant. So basically what you're going to do is the card is facing, or if you want to think about it, you could flip it around and be the bottom right quadrant, however you want to do that. Place your marker right at the 5.5. Cut straight up, turn your card, and you're going to want to cut that section off. So depending on how you're thinking about it, it's just you want to cut basically one of the quadrants off. All right, now that you've done this, you have to decide which way. Do you want to have your card folding upwards and the flap to the side, or do you want to have your card opening normally with the flat facing upward? It is totally up to you, however you want to do that. Now, I find this to be a bit squishy. You could totally keep your card as a full page, but I like to trim mine down just a tiny bit. 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch is what you want to cut off if you're going to want to trim this down. I'm just going to do 1/4 inch just to show you a little bit of a difference between the other cards that I've already done. So just come in and trim off 1/4 inch on both sides, keeping it even. And you can just take your precision scissors to trim off that little excess. So this card, I have kept that flap quite large, so you can open it this way, or you can have your card open this way. So this is a much larger flap. Just to show you a comparison, this is one of the cards I already made where I made a little bit deeper of a cut. I went 1/2 inch, so the flap is a little bit larger. And just to show you perspective, if you want to go vertical with the card, you can go vertical. And if you notice, I did a fun flap. I cut it shorter, and then I also cut it into a little fishtail. So you can change it up and have fun with the design of your card in the direction of the flaps, however you wish to do that. But it's the same process. It's just this, change this flap to, you can even cut it shorter, however you wish, to fit for whatever you would like to do. So I hope you've enjoyed my 5 different 5 fun fold cards, ranging from very simple ones with just extra little flip flops in there. This one, a fold out card. Here we have a mini fun little flap on the top, and then you open it again. Or you can have a directional flap, a single flap on the inside, or it opens up to make like a W fun fold because there's an extra fun fold in the middle. Lots of fun ideas. Remember, supply links for how you can find most of these products are going to be linked down below, along with videos for where you can find all the extra embellishments that I did for each one of these videos. There's a video for each one of these individual cards. I will leave those links along with the measurements there down below as well. Please subscribe, and hope you hit that bell button for further notifications of videos, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye everybody.